So this week I'm finally going to get rid of these leaky shocks that I have, and I'm happy about that. So I'm going to show you the shocks I got. I know there's a lot of different shocks out there, and some are real expensive. I went with, I guess, the lower budget shocks. So I'll show you those. I did some research, and it seemed to be a lot of people use these shocks, and so that's why I'm going to try them. Anything's got to be better than what's on the truck right now because they're leaking so bad, but I'll show you those when I get them off. Also, I did take the body apart and paint the inside black after watching somebody I follow's YouTube. I think it was RC Voodoo. He had his painted black, so I did the interior of the inside of mine black, and I went one step further. I had some translucent orange paint. I don't know if you can see, but I took the stickers off here and painted the little lights here, the marker lights, translucent orange. And when I went to test them out to see how they looked, I don't know, I had one headlight that worked and one marker light that worked. So my tail lights don't work at all, but now a headlight is out and a marker light, so the LEDs are now out of this, and I'm most likely going to rewire with new LEDs because I don't know what's going on. I tried to resolder those. I took them apart and try to fix the connection, because when I wiggled it, they had all of them came on, but then I wiggled it again, they all went off. So I thought it was a connection. I tried to resolder them, but that didn't seem to work. So that's where we're at right now. But yeah, so let me move this out of the way and then show you the shocks that I got. Like I said, I did some research. So these are the shocks that I actually am going with. These are the Traxxas. They are big bore, extra long. Part number 2662. Like I said, I've seen a bunch of videos on YouTube. People seem to use these, and they seem to work. I am going to use the stock shock cup and the stock bottom, whatever thing, rod end. So from the axial, that's what everybody seems to do also. So I'm gonna go with that. I had said that I was going to put different springs on the front, but I changed my mind. So I had switched the back springs to the front and the front springs to the back, which wasn't working. And I got a little bit heavier of a spring for the front that I'm not going to use. So what I'm going to do is go back to the original spring for up front. I'm going to move it from the back up front, and I'm going to go with a heavier spring on the back. See if that works. If that don't work, I'm just going to go back to stock springs. Basically, the springs that came where the front springs on the front and the back springs on the back. So, but we're going to get the old shocks off here and hopefully show you how leaky they are, and then get these new shocks all matted up. Alright, so another thing you might have saw it in the last video, but that's my waterproof BEC case right there. It's from Leading Edge Machining. So I had to extend the power and the red and black wire to make it fit, because it didn't fit on the side with the ESC and everything like that, but I mounted it up over there. You might have saw it in the last video, but I didn't really mention it. So, but it's a pretty cool little thing. Machined aluminum, super nice looking. So I'm going to switch over to time lapse and get these shocks off. Alright, so I got them off the truck. Trying to see. You can see, I don't know if you can really see in there, but you can see all the oil that's in there. I've refilled these. I've taken them apart and tightened everything up and refilled them. So these are from the front. I don't think there's much in there because you can kind of, and then this is the other front. Kind of hard to see, but they definitely leak. Doesn't sound like this one. It looks like it's leaking out of the top a little bit too. So the rear ones don't sound that bad, and they don't look too leaky. But the fronts are going, the rears are going. This one seems a little bit more leaky than the other one, but definitely time for these to go. And okay, so like I said, these are from Traxxas. Here's the part number. These are the ones that I've seen everybody pretty much using. Well, not everybody, but I've seen a lot of people using these. So they come with 2 shocks. The other thing is you can get these, you can find these for like 20 bucks. The pair, it's like 20 bucks. I think they're from I want to say they're for T-Max or something like that, but I'm not positive. But they're aluminum body. They're not threaded or anything like that, but I mean, Traxxas shocks are pretty decent shocks. But they come with shock. They don't come with springs. Or do they come with bottom cups? Yeah, they do. They come with bottom cups and other plastic stuff. Preload spacers. The other thing that everybody does do is they actually change the piston to this 3-hole piston. I believe what's in there is a 2-hole piston. So I'm going to do that also. But I'm going to break these down, break the old ones down, and get them started. Get these started here. So. Alright, so one thing I noticed is the top on these shocks, you can't get a pivot ball in either axial or that one. And then I noticed this, that right there. So that's what you're going to need to use for the top on these shocks, which might be good because I might not need the spacers, even though I just bought those spacers. So we'll see once we get on the truck. Alright, so I got them all done. Again, I put a screw in here. I put the smallest M3 screw I had in here. I know it's not right. If anybody knows what screw is supposed to go in there, because obviously the ones I got aren't the right ones, just let me know in the comments, because this is just basically filling up that gap. It's not really into this side of the shock cup, the spring cup, so it's just kind of blocking it so it doesn't have anywhere to go. So I ended up using the stock front springs for the front now, and I ended up going with these little heavier springs on the back. So they're 3.03 pounds per inch. So that's what I went with on the back. So I'm gonna get these mounted up and gonna be done. Alright, make sure I get them mounted right. These are blue. So I'm going to end up putting a little spacer, a little plastic spacer that came with the Traxxas shocks on the bottom until I get until I get aluminum ones or metal ones. So hope this screw ain't too long. It should be fine. That should be fine. Yeah, I think these are going to clear. Like I said, I'm just worried about the bottom. So I'm going to put a little spacer on the bottom for now and see. Because I believe I only got... The spacers I bought only came with 6 spacers. So... do a bit of a gap. The only thing I don't like about it is there's no, like these, the old ones pivot up top. These don't. So hopefully that doesn't affect anything too much, but we'll see. I didn't really realize that, but now I did. They're just, like I said, they might not be permanent. They were a cheap upgrade to get rid of, as I put the spacer on the wrong side, what am I doing? To get rid of the leaky, the oil leaking shocks, to get rid of those. That's why I got these. So, like I said, in the end, they might not be permanent. They're just better than what I had on there. Alleviate some of the suspension issues, because the suspension was terrible with all the leaky oil. And even when I did fill the shocks back up, they just leaked back out, and you could hear them when I took them off. They were just they didn't sound very good. So hopefully this doesn't affect it. I didn't, without the pivot point. But I guess the top really doesn't need to pivot. I guess it should a little bit, but we'll find out, I guess, once we get it out and run it. See what it does. Alright, we're going to go quick on this. Alright, so they're all mounted up. I don't know. Well, we're going to see. I think shocks are going to be the biggest thing with me. Trying to make them, make it perform better. So I do have the heavy springs. I feel like it's too stiff in the rear now, but I have other set of springs. I have the stock set, but I also have a little bit heavier of a set. I have the 1.7 pound per inch springs. So if I don't like those, I'm going to go to those. If I don't like these, I'm going to go to those. And then worst comes to worst, go back straight to stock. The shocks definitely feel a ton better. So just get it out there and see what it does, I guess, now. But yeah, that's it for this week. Just wanted to get those shocks done finally. And hopefully this fixes my issue. I'm pretty sure it's going to fix the leaking issue. As performance-wise, I don't know. Because, again, I'm going to get it out there and see what it does once I get it out there. But thanks for watching.